Hello crafty friends, today's video is following along with Craft Roulette YouTube game show where you have to use 4 parameters to create a project. So the first thing I decided to do was make a background that I'm going to cut actually into a tag using a die. So I got out my stamp that I really like for messy backgrounds. It's a well-used stamp. It's actually one of my first stamps. And I decided to use the clear embossing dauber from Ranger because I thought I didn't really want a smooth application. I wanted it kind of messy, so I thought the dauber would kind of help with that on top of the stamp having that look to it. So then I put clear embossing powder on what I stamped. I didn't use any static powder because I wanted it to be messy. You wouldn't be able to tell anyway. And now I'm heat embossing it. That took a little while. It was very thick in some places, I think because of the use of the dauber and the stamp combination. So I just wanted to make sure that I got it all done. And then now I'm going to make my background with distress sprays. I did Lost Shadow, and then I used some mica stains in the blue, and I used faded denim. I don't have a lot, so I kind of just went along with what a mix of blues that I had to get sort of a frosty look. And then I dried in between most of the layers because I didn't want them to mix too much. And that's my little splat backs that I made. And then because of all the embossing, I had to actually dry some of the ink that was sitting on top of the embossed areas because it's so thick. So then I set that to dry and I went over to my die cut and cut out all the pieces I needed to make the snowman and the happy birthday. And then I also, when it was done, I cut my background out with a tag die. So now I'm going to assemble all of my pieces. That snowman has some really little pieces, so I used a dish to put it all in. Right now I'm going to use some Lost Shadow on the edge just to give the snowman a little shadow instead of it all being white. I mean, Lost Shadow is so light that just gave it a tiny bit of a shadow. Instead of using black cardstock underneath, I just figured I would use white and then color in where the little coal and eyes are. Then I use my stamping block just to hold them together, really heavy stamping block. I cut out 2 pieces of the happy birthday just so it would be a little more thicker than just one piece. I do that a lot with sentiments just so that it stands out a little bit more. And then my card, I also put one on the back so it's super thick because there's 2, and I realized I couldn't cut it through with my guillotine, but I could if I brought it up to the top. So that was a good lesson to learn, to do it at the top instead of the bottom. So now I'm just sort of checking out where his branches are going to go. That was another parameter, branches. So I thought, oh, hands are his, they're his twigs. So branches, boom, done. And then January I did because it's winter here and snowy, and also it's for my friend's birthday the birthday's in January, so that was another parameter. So I have branches, January, tag, and then the other was the colors, which were Disney, so I went with winter because of the movie Frozen. So I got all my parameters. This one came very easy to me. Not all of Craft Roulette's parameters come easy, but this one I had an idea right away. I thought it was fun to be able to use snowman and these colors and branches. I was like, well, snowmen have branch arms. Perfect. So now I'm just gluing all the little pieces, his hat and scarf. I haven't used this die cut yet, so these pieces were a little new to me on what went where. I think I would have flipped it and done the darker as more of the color than if I had done it again, because it was too close to the background. But it looked okay in the end. But the navy might have been a little cuter, a little pop, a little more. Now I'm going to put his little nose on, which is also 2 layers, as a lot of Tim Holtz why they're so great. A lot of detail in his die cuts. This particular snowman is looking up because he's looking up holding the sign, so that's why I thought right away that this would be perfect for this little tag that I'm going to put on my friend's gift, which is in actually 2 weeks or a week and a half. So here's his little twigs. Now the other hand I'm gonna have to cut because it's a little bit longer because I wanted the happy birthday to be slanted. Like he was kind of holding it like a little sign. So I just figured out where I needed to snip it and then glued it on. And then the last part, this die cut set had some snowflakes. You can't really see them on camera, but I thought that they were, there was no snowflake in the stamp that I used, so I thought that that would be a nice little touch. And I let the one go over the edge, snipped it off, and I was done. Thanks so much for watching. Have a crafty day.